Do you ever lie in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, and think about why you can't sleep like you used to? Do your joints hurt when you stand up? Does your digestion feel slow and uncomfortable? Does your memory slide a little more than it used to? And if you've ever had blood tests that didn't look right or a doctor talked about your kidneys in a serious way, let me ask you something important. Have you been quietly worried that your life is now on a countdown? It can feel like the end of the road when someone tells you or someone you love, this is stage 5 kidney disease. It's like all you had planned for your latter years is suddenly gone. But please stay with me, because what you're about to hear might change the way you think about renal failure after age 60. Let me be clear about this before we go any further. Please subscribe to this channel if you're new here. You are the main audience for this channel. We publish natural treatments, useful medical advice, real-life tales, and lifestyle tips every week to help you digest better, protect your heart, strengthen your bones, sharpen your mind, and give you more energy beyond 60. When you sign up, you're not just watching movies, you're also joining a group of people who feel that life can still be strong, important, and independent after 60. You don't want to miss today's story. What if stage 5 renal disease isn't the end? What stage 5 kidney disease really means, and why it sounds scarier than it is. End-stage renal disease is another name for stage 5 kidney illness. It's one of those medical terms that sometimes sound more like a sentence than a diagnosis. Just hearing such words can make you feel scared right away. Doctors sometimes say that your kidneys are working at less than 15% of their usual capacity if your glomerular filtration rate, or GFR, is less than 15. For a lot of older people, that sounds like a machine verdict, like your body has been checked out and found to be broken. But most people don't get this. Stage 5 doesn't mean your body will cease working tomorrow. It doesn't imply your life is over. It just means that your kidneys require more aid, support, and better care than they have ever had before. Your kidneys are like the filters in your body that work tirelessly for decades without making a sound. They filter about 50 gallons of blood per day, get rid of waste, balance fluids, control minerals like potassium and phosphorus, and help keep blood pressure in check. These filters get worn after 70 or 80 years, just as an old coffee maker that still works but leaks a little or takes longer to brew. And much like that coffee maker, kidneys don't just stop working, they get weaker over time. This steady decline is frequently what catches some seniors off surprise. One month, their labs look fine, and the next month, the doctor delivers the stage 5 bomb. Most people don't get this important point. The number itself isn't the problem. How you react to it is what really puts you in danger. Some older people freak out because they think dialysis is the only option for the future and feel stuck in a strict medical schedule. Some people quit eating right, moving, socializing, and even hoping. But fear and not doing something are often worse than the disease itself. Hope is more than just a feeling. It's a strategy and a daily practice that can affect how your body reacts to illness. Let's look at this in context. Think about a car that's been running for years. The engine is still running, but the oil is low, the tires are worn, and the brakes need to be looked at. You wouldn't just leave it there and think it's useless. Instead, you would replace the oil, rotate the tires, and drive carefully. Your kidneys work the same way. Stage 5 doesn't mean the engine has blown up. It indicates it needs smart fuel, careful maintenance, and close attention to keep going. You should also know that stage 5 renal disease affects everyone in a different way. Some people feel tired, have swollen limbs, or have trouble breathing. Some people might not notice much of a difference in their daily lives, at least at first. That's why tailored care is so important. What works for one elder may not work for another. Small, steady improvements in food, hydration, exercise, and thinking can slow down the disease's progression by a lot, sometimes for years. A lot of people are surprised to learn that research reveals that seniors who stay active, eat well, and stay cheerful can nonetheless get worse, even in stage 5. That doesn't mean you'll get better, but it does show that your age is not the most important thing. Your habits, choices, and perspective are. Please tell me how you felt when you first heard the words stage 5. Scared? Overwhelmed? Do you feel hopeless? Are you mad? You're not alone. And here's a secret that a lot of older people find out too late. You get back in control as soon as you stop being afraid and start understanding. You start to think of stage 5 as a guidance, a sign to pay close attention, act wisely, and protect the life you still have. Stay with me because in the next part, I'll tell you about an 80-year-old who wouldn't give in to stage 5. His story will teach you that you can make real changes in your life even when you're older. It all starts with the decisions you make today. And before we get into his story, I want you to stop and think about one item about your health that you've been putting off because it seemed too late to address. Remember that, because by the end of this movie, you'll discover exactly how elders like Robert took back control, step by step. The 80-year-old who wouldn't give up, a real-life turning point. Now let's meet Robert, an 80-year-old whose story will make you think differently about stage 5 kidney illness. Robert was scared when he first found out he had cancer. He had always thought he was rather healthy for his age. He walked a little every day, ate his meals at home, and saw friends once a week. But when his doctor told him, "Robert, your kidneys are only working at 15%, stage 5, it felt like the ground was moving under him. He was worried about going to the hospital, getting dialysis, and losing his freedom. A lot of older people in his situation would have given up. They would have given up on trying to get better because they thought a worst was going to happen. But Robert made a different choice. He didn't give up, he started by trying to understand. He wanted to know more. He learned what stage 5 really means. He learned that he might need dialysis later, but he could do things to slow down the disease, lower the risk of complications, and keep his quality of life. He learned that information and action could be his best friends. This was the turning point. Robert started by carefully changing what he ate. He didn't go straight to severe rules. He made small changes and learned which foods helped his kidneys and which ones made them worse. He switched from overly processed meats to lean proteins and included more plant-based meals to his diet. He learned the importance of timing his meals and limiting his portions. Eating smaller, more frequent meals instead of a few big ones improved his kidney work. He also kept a simple food diary where he wrote down how different foods made him feel. This helped him make his nutrition plan more personalized. Another important thing to focus on was staying hydrated. Robert learned when and how much to drink instead of just drinking more water. In the past, drinking too much at night made it hard to sleep and made him go to the bathroom a lot. He made his sleep better by spreading out his fluid intake throughout the day and cutting back on it a little in the evening. This is something that is often overlooked, but is very important for kidney function. Next came moving. Robert didn't sign up for gym memberships or work out hard. He started with short walks twice a day and gentle stretches to get his blood flowing better. Even 10 to 15 minutes per day made a difference. As time went on, his energy got better, his legs felt stronger, and he felt more confident in his ability to move and balance. This is a great example of how small, realistic improvements can lead to big changes in your life. Robert's mindset was probably the most impressive thing about his story. He wouldn't let fear control his life every day. He didn't think about the diagnosis. He thought about what he could do. He made time for his interests, spent time with friends, and set small goals for himself, like cooking meals or taking care of his garden. His attitude changed, and it became like medicine, a powerful support that made him feel less stressed, which in turn helped his kidneys work better. And here's the bit that surprises most people. Robert's lab results became better within a few months. There wasn't a miracle treatment, there weren't any big changes, but his kidney function didn't get worse as quickly, his swelling didn't get bad, he got his energy back, and he stayed independent. He and the doctors were both impressed. This shows that aging isn't the problem. The problem is being willing to act smartly and consistently. Stay with me because the next part will surprise you. Robert found one simple habit that had an even bigger impact than diet or exercise alone, and any senior can start doing it right away. But before we get there, I want you to ask you, when you have a health problem, do you normally feel that you can't do anything about it, or do you try to find a way to fix it? Put your answer in the comments. You could give someone else hope who is going through the same situation. Finally, let's think about what we learned from Robert's story. Stage 5 kidney disease isn't a death sentence. It's a call to action to slow down the decline, make things more comfortable, and take control of what really matters, your quality of life. And remember, Robert's story is not the only one that is inspiring. Thousands more seniors throughout the world are making similar progress without making a big deal of it. This shows that life can still be full, meaningful, and even happy despite a devastating diagnosis, if you do it the right way. Food, a quiet friend or a hidden enemy for your kidneys. This following point could drastically shift the way you think about food. A lot of the time, doctors tell seniors to just avoid certain foods or limit protein, but they don't explain why or how to do it without losing vigor or enjoyment in life. Your kidneys are like fragile filters that can only handle so much stress at a time, especially when they're at stage 5. Eating the correct foods can help lower that tension, while eating the wrong ones can make it worse. Robert learned that balance, not going without, was important. For example, protein is necessary to keep your energy levels up, your immune system strong, and your muscles from wasting away. But getting too much protein, especially from hefty meats or processed foods, makes the kidneys work harder. The answer is to eat sensible portions and at the right times. Smaller meals spaced out over the day, lean meats, eggs in moderation, and plant-based foods like lentils, beans, and tofu. Robert even noted that he felt lighter and more active when he ate meats with fresh vegetables. Another threat that isn't obvious is salt. A lot of older people don't know how much sodium is in processed foods, canned soups, bread, and even seasonings. Too much salt makes the body retain water, bloat, and raise blood pressure, all of which puts stress on fragile kidneys. Robert stopped eating processed foods and started using fresh herbs, spices, and other ingredients. He learned that after a few weeks, his taste buds got used to it, and food started to taste better without added salt. Potassium and phosphorus are two minerals that can sneak up on you and hurt your kidneys. Excess potassium can harm the heart, and excess phosphorus can weaken bones. Robert learned how to make substitutes instead of absolutely prohibiting meals. For instance, he switched between apples and pears instead of eating a banana every day. He drank water with lemon or cucumber instead of cola. These little changes made his labs more stable without making him feel like he was missing out. But here's the thing. Eating is more than simply vitamins and minerals. It gives you energy, pleasure, and a way to connect with others. Robert didn't cut himself off from his family or stop eating with them. He just changed the sizes of the amounts, chose foods that were good for his kidneys, and learned to enjoy every bite. And how much energy does he have? They went up. His swelling went down, and eating became a source of strength instead of worry. Do you have trouble figuring out what to eat for your kidneys? Or do you not think about it at all because it seems too hard to understand? If so, please leave a remark. Others probably feel the same way. And stick with me, because the next part will show you how things you might not think about, like drinking enough water and getting enough sleep, can actually help your kidneys become better when you eat. Rest, sleep, and hydration, the unexpected role. A lot of older people think staying hydrated is easy, just drink more water, right? With stage 5 renal disease, it's not just about how much you eat, it's also about when you eat, how much you eat, and how you feel. Robert learned that drinking too much at night made him go to the bathroom a lot, kept him from sleeping well, and made him feel tired all the time. He improved his sleep and lowered swelling by drinking water throughout the day and cutting back on it a little at night. As it turns out, sleep is where actual healing starts. When you don't get enough sleep, your body makes more stress hormones, which raises blood pressure and makes inflammation worse. Both of these things are bad for your kidneys. Robert set up a simple sleep routine, going to bed at the same time every night, no screens 30 to 60 minutes before bed, a peaceful, dark room, and some mild stretches before bed. He noticed that he was waking up feeling more rested, his intellect was sharper, and his vitality was back in a few weeks. And here's an interesting fact. Better sleep actually made him hungrier and helped his digestion, which made the alterations to his diet from the last part even more beneficial. It made a positive feedback loop. Better sleep led to better nutrition, which led to greater energy, which led to better movement, which helped the kidneys work better. Food and hydration also go hand in hand. Keeping the right amount of fluids in the body stops toxins from building up, decreases swelling, and helps the body get rid of waste more quickly. Robert learned to keep an eye on his weight every day, noticing small amounts of fluid retention. This simple routine helped me find problems early, before they got bad. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that when you don't get enough sleep, even minor things seem hard the next day? Or that your hands and feet feel more swollen after a night of little sleep? Your body is warning you to change your behaviors. Drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, and taking breaks are all important for your kidneys to stay healthy. And here's the hook that even Robert's physicians didn't see coming. Better sleep made his mind clearer, his attitude improved, his memory got better, and he felt more in control. This shows that taking care of yourself is good for both your health and your mind. So, ask yourself, may changing your sleep and hydration habits a little bit make a big impact in how you feel, your energy levels, or how well your kidneys work? Please share your story in the comments. You might help someone else start on the path to better kidney health today. Movement, not exercise, how light activity can help you save energy. A lot of older people get it wrong when they think that exercise has to be hard, tiring, or hard to do. But for people with stage 5 renal disease, movement is not a punishment, it's therapy. Robert figured this out the hard way. At first, he didn't work out because he thought his age and kidney ailment meant he shouldn't push himself. But after days of feeling sluggish, stiff, and short of energy, he figured out a simple thing. Moving a little bit every day made a big difference. He started by walking for 10 to 15 minutes twice a day. No hills or fast walking, just enough to get the blood moving. Then he introduced modest chair exercises and gentle stretches, focusing on how far he could move rather than how hard he could work out. Over the course of a few weeks, Robert saw something amazing. His legs were stronger, his balance got better, and tasks like carrying groceries or ascending a few steps became easier. Your muscles are like natural pumps that help transfer fluids and get rid of toxins from your blood. This is why activity is so important for your kidneys. When you sit still, fluid builds up, swelling gets worse, blood pressure goes up, and your kidneys have to work harder. Moving around keeps blood flowing, reduces inflammation, and boosts energy levels. But there's another movement that is good for mental wellness. Older people with renal disease often feel tired, anxious, or even a little depressed. Regular, light exercise raises endorphins, makes you more focused, and makes you feel more independent. Robert adds that walking in the morning, albeit slowly, became his favorite ritual. It was a small win that gave him confidence and control. And here's a really important piece of advice. Consistency is more important than intensity. Walking for 10 minutes every day is better than pushing yourself for an hour once a week and then being too tired to do anything else. Over time, small, realistic behaviors add up. Would you be willing to add just one short walk to your day? 5 minutes after eating can make a difference. Last but not least, activity can become sociable, which is another benefit. Robert sometimes walked with friends or neighbors. This not only encouraged him, but it also made him feel better and less stressed, which is a combination that helps the kidneys work better than drugs alone. Mindset, stress, and the reason hope is medicine. This is where the story usually surprises elders the most. Mindset can actually change renal health. Stress isn't just something that makes you feel bad, it also has real effects on your body. When you're under a lot of stress, your body releases hormones like cortisol that constrict blood vessels, raise blood pressure, and cause inflammation. In people with stage 5 renal disease, these symptoms may speed up their decline. Robert knew this without thinking. He wouldn't let fear control his life every day. He didn't worry about lab results. Instead, he focused on things he could control, such as what he ate, how much he moved, how much sleep he got, and how he felt. He spent time with friends, did things he liked like gardening and reading, and set small, achievable goals for himself each day. Every little thing he did, no matter how small, gave him a sense of control and purpose. And here's an interesting fact. Robert also kept himself from hearing too much negative health news. Constant news stories about failing kidneys, hospital statistics, and end-stage results only made people more anxious. He replaced that with positive habits like listening to music, doing mild breathing exercises, and talking to people who encouraged him. Over time, he noticed that his stress levels went down, his blood pressure was stable, and even his lab results showed that he was calmer. Your mindset and your lifestyle go hand in hand. If you're constantly anxious, your body's stress response will make it harder for you to eat the right foods, drink enough water, and exercise every day. Hope and purpose, on the other hand, work like medicine by helping organs, reducing inflammation, and making people stronger. And here's the proof. Many seniors around the world have used mindset as a powerful way to deal with stage 5 renal disease. They meditate, pray, do hobbies that make them happy, or practice mindfulness. They get in touch with friends and family. They celebrate little wins like a week without swelling or a good night's sleep. Doctors typically see these real, verifiable improvements in lab results and real control equals medical care plus self-care. Now, let's speak about the one thing that really gives seniors like Robert control: taking care of themselves and getting medical treatment. A lot of people think that once you get to stage 5, doctors, machines, or drugs control your life completely. That's just not the case. Robert and millions of other seniors have quietly shown that you don't have to give up your independence because of your diagnosis. You can be an active part of your care. Robert worked closely with his doctors. He questioned about each blood result, knew what each medicine was doing, and kept track of his symptoms. He learned, for example, that some drugs could help lower blood pressure or reduce swelling, but only if he also changed his diet and moved about more. This method helped him make smart choices instead of just following orders. In this way, knowledge becomes power. Taking care of yourself was also very important. Robert had a regular schedule. He measured how much fluid he drank, ate foods that were good for his kidneys, walked twice a day, and did things to reduce stress. These activities may appear little on their own, but when combined, they had a big, lasting influence. His lab results not only stabilized over the course of months, but he also got his energy, confidence, and independence back. Another surprise thing is that tracking and consistency are quite important. Robert kept a simple log of his food, sleep, walks, and symptoms. This habit helped him see little changes, spot concerns early, and talk to his healthcare staff more clearly. Any senior can do this. You don't need fancy gadgets. All you need is attention, consistency, and a promise to accomplish modest things every day. And social proof is important here. Thousands more seniors throughout the world do the same thing, which shows that stage 5 renal illness is not a death sentence, but a challenge that can be overcome. People like Robert are still living happy, purposeful lives even when they are very old. They stay independent, do things they want, and spend time with family and friends, all while taking care of their kidneys. Let me ask you, which portion of taking care of yourself do you find the easiest to do today? Eating well, staying hydrated, moving about, or lowering your stress? Or maybe all of them? Leave a comment with your suggestion. It might give someone else the push they need to take their first step toward taking charge of their life. Keep in mind that the most important thing to remember is balance. Medical care can help you, but the decisions you make every day about what you eat, how you move, how you relax, and how you think are what really matter. Yes, stage 5 is serious, but it's not the end. It's a turning moment, but seniors can still live fully, meaningfully, and on their own with the correct plans. Let's go over what you learned today. You don't have to die if you have stage 5 renal disease. Your habits, decisions, and way of thinking are what hold you back, not your age. We've talked about all the different ways that seniors like Robert can do well, like knowing what stage 5 really means, using food as medicine, keeping hydrated and getting enough sleep, doing gentle exercise, having a positive attitude, lowering stress, and combining self-care with medical advice. Robert's story shows that even at the age of 80, you can still make substantial changes. He got his energy back, the swelling went down, and he stayed independent. Stage 5 renal illness is not a death sentence. It is a challenge that can be overcome with education, patience, and perseverance. And here's the most crucial part. You don't have to do it all at once. Make one little change to start, like getting more sleep, going for a short walk every day, or changing a meal. Slowly build up speed. Every step counts, and when they all work together, they make genuine, lasting change. Please like, share, and subscribe if you found this video useful. If you sign up, you'll get weekly recommendations developed particularly for seniors that can help you live longer, healthier, and happier after the age of 60. This channel is your go-to for natural remedies, medical advice, lifestyle tips, and real-life success stories that show that age is just a number. And last but not least, remember that stage 5 renal disease is terrible, yet it is not the end. Your happiness, your freedom, and your life are still very much within reach. Do one thing today and let Robert's tale inspire you to do the next.